Hi, I'm Eva Kraus. I'm a sales manager, desk manager at Jack Madden Ford.
Okay, and I have one really big question for you is what is the best way that you suggest after your 21 years in the automotive industry that you set up for a TO? So if I'm a salesperson, when and how do I turn on and set up for a TO for you to come in?
I think some of it is, I guess it'll all start with training and kind of a long way, is that you've got to know your salesperson. You've got to know where they're at, not only from a technical knowledge, where they're at in the steps to selling, and where they are at in terms of the deal. Some TOs start almost like a four-floor flyby on a meet and greet. You interject yourself, you get to know the person real quick, and then you turn it over back to the salesperson and let them do their deal. Then there's other times where it might be you'll go in on the first pencil if they're fairly inexperienced, and you've earned that right because at least they've already met you on a flyby TO. I have some salespeople that just from knowing them, you'll know whether they're done or not. You could hear it in their voice. You can hear it in what they're telling you. Sometimes I've had some very experienced salespeople come back to me and say, I think I'm done, and I'll know they're not.
What's the way that you best suggest that when they feel they're done, and if they're going to be proactive and go for the TO, do they say, wait a minute, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer, let me go get my manager?
No, usually what they'll say is they're going to check with the desk on what they'll get an offer from the customer, or they'll hit a point where they need to get the customer some information, whatever it is that they need to do to reasonably excuse themselves, and freeze the customer where they're at. Let me get you some information, some literature, let me get you some pricing, whatever point you're at in the deal, or we're working the deal, it's not coming together, let me see if I can get you maximize the money for your trade. I know the manager's calling around and trying to get the most money for your vehicle. Whatever it does to freeze it, I'll only be gone about a moment. They come up, they give me a quick briefing. I already know from 1 or 2 or 3 pencils where we're at in the deal, and I'm prepared to go in at that point and say, ask the customer, what is it we need to, where are we at? I go in as if I don't know anything, even though I've been fully briefed at that point, and I'll have the customer take me through the deal at that point so that they can tell me what their perception is about what's been going on. And by looking at that and pulling together, as I mentioned, not only the steps to closing, but the psychology, the body language, and where they're at, it kind of tells me where to go. I leave myself in a position where I'm never fully boxed in. You never want to make a commitment that you can't back off of. And so, as you're staring at the customers, you're looking into the customer's eyes, you'll see their nuances, their body language, and that will tell you whether you're heading down that right path and whether you've hit some of the keys as you get to know them now more directly than you did through the salesperson.
Eva, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your knowledge and expertise. We really appreciate it. If somebody's watching this and they wanted some more information about closing or just some advice, can they email you?
Oh, absolutely. I can be reached at eva.d.as.in.deborah.kraus, K-R-A-U-S, @gmail.com.
Thank you again for your time, and again, I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.